So I apologize for the crudeness of this video, but when I discovered this little issue with the Samsung charging and the rapid charging with 45 watt chargers, which I don't have, I just have the 25 watt that came with the Note 10. But I just wanted to point out some things. So I have several chargers here. This is the charger from Samsung, 25 watts with the outputs that are on it. I also have, I bought a 45 watt thin 45 watt charger that you see the outputs here. I had a larger, I believe this is my 60 watt charger with the various outputs that it can produce. And then wireless charging. I have a wireless charger I picked up online, able to output 15 watts max, and you can see what the input is and the output. 15 watt max is what they say. So just wanted to do a little test here to show you some of the ratings that we get. I have a a voltage and amperage meter that we're going to hook up to see what each of these output and whether or not I can get 45 watt charging from some of these others that are rated to be able to deliver 45 watts, or if Samsung has a dirty little secret about whether or not their chargers will, other chargers will be able to charge at that 45 watt rate. So we are charging right now, and we are charging with the Samsung charger, and you will see that we are getting 9.18 volts at 2.74 amps. So we're getting our 25 watt delivery of power. To our Note 10, we're at 59. It says it'll take 43 minutes to reach full charge. So let's hook up another one and see what we get there. So this is the Ravpower charger, and you will see we're hooked in down here. We're charging 60%, but you'll notice that we are at 9 volts, but we don't get above 1.6 amps. We are not charging at 25 watts. We're not charging at 45 watts. Despite this being a charger that is capable of delivering 45 watts. The phone is rejecting a charge of anything greater than the 9 volts and 1.6 amps. So now we are plugged into our 60 watt charger rated here, and you will see that again, 9 volts, 1.6 amps. We are limited at the 1.6 amps. It will not go above that. We're charging, but it will not go above that 1.6 amps. So back to the Samsung one more time. You can see 9.2 volts, 2.56 amps, and you know, we're charging a few minutes less time to charge. The one thing I noticed, and if anybody has any information about this, you know, I see two different types of output. I see a PDO and a PPS. Not familiar with what those two differences are. Anybody has any insight to that and to whether or not there are other chargers out there that have this PPS that appears to be what is allowing the 25 watt charging? Please feel free to comment, and if you have links to other chargers that have the capability to deliver a 25 or 45 watt charge that are not the $50 version from Samsung, please put that in the comments. Now we're gonna go mess with wireless charging. So I have my 15 watt max output wireless charger set to go with nothing on it, using the Samsung charging base. We'll put the Note 10 on top. And we begin to charge. Charging wirelessly. Wait, let's see. 65, 1 hour and 32 minutes till full. Let's see what our output is. Wow. Very slow. 5 volts, 1.2 amps. I mean, this is like Gen 1 wireless charging. And that is with our charger supplied, the 25 watt charger supplied by Samsung. Let's see if we can get a different reading. So now we are hooked up to a quick charge 3.0 charging base with those outputs. I don't have the phone on the charging base yet. However, it already shows us that we're at 8.91 volts. So let's put the phone on. Confirm that we are charging. Wait for the focus to come back in. And our time is significantly shorter, 65%, 1.1 hour, 3 minutes until full. And we are charging at basically 9 volts and 1.1 amps. Now again, this charger is rated for, it says it's rated for 15 watts. You know, I'm not sure. We'll have to do a follow-up video when we get the chargers in from Samsung. But here you can see basically it's given us about 10 watts roughly. So a little bit better charging on a 15 watt rated base. But when you're using the Samsung base to or the Samsung charging brick to charge, it only goes at 5 volts, and again, very slow, like Gen 1 rate. We'll plug in the 2 bigger chargers, the Ravpower or DB Power and our Ravpower, and just see what we get. But I have a feeling they're just going to give us that 10 watt max as well. So we have the Ravpower 45 watt charger hooked up to our 15 watt base. We put it on, we start charging. 65%. We don't get a time frame yet. Maybe we haven't made a good connection. And I know some people are going to be like, oh. Alright, so I also have a power delivery car charger that my lights went off. Sorry about that, guys. Alright, let's see. So we're rated with the following ratings for an output. It says output 45 watt max. So we're going to plug this in and use our little tester and see what we get. So just as we had with the others, basically we're getting about 15 watts. Sorry, had to start the car there. About 15 watts plugged in. Certainly not 25 watts or 45 watts or anything of the sort plugged in to something that has a 45 watt PD output. So again, Samsung's dirty little secret with 25 watt, 45 watt wired charging. If it's not Samsung, you're not going to get 25 watts. You're not going to get 45 watts. So this is the Ravpower hooked up to the wireless charger. It is connected. It says 1 hour 2 minutes, 66%. Basically 9 volts, 1 amp, roughly, 10 watts. So that's what we get here. So now we have the DB Power 60 watt charger hooked back into the wireless charger, and again, basically 10 watts, 9 volts, 1 amp. And you can see that we're coming in at about 66% with 1 hour, 1 minute until full. So yeah, basically the dirty little secret that we have here is that unless you're using a Samsung charger, you're only going to get, you know, a 10 watt charge. You're not, or well, maybe a little bit faster, 15 watts on the other ones, but you're not going to get the 25 watts. We max out at 1.6 amps and 9 volts. So, yeah, that's Samsung's dirty little secret. You want 45 watt charging? You're going to have to pay Samsung $49.99 to get your 45 watt charger that's going to give you that charging rate, unless we can figure out, you know, someone who comes out with a charger that has whatever special internal hardware, chip, whatever it may be, to allow for that faster rate of charge, or for Samsung's phone not to reject that faster rate of charge.